So it's a beautiful day out here. I had to come outside because I want to get my drone up. But anyway, this video is about oxygen and wine. I want to show you when to use it, when to give your wine oxygen, when not. Stay tuned, make sure you're clicking that like and subscribe button, and let's get rid of that confusion that we all have.
Do you remember all of the nights we spent alone?
I got the cork.
Give your oxygen wine. First off, oxygen is a detriment and it is also a necessity, especially when you're making your own wine. All right, you saw my funny thumbnail here with the oxygen mask on my wine, and that's what we're going to get into this video. We're not actually going to pump oxygen into this bottle of wine, but we're going to show you when to use it, when not to use it. Is it necessary to keep your oxygen out of your wine when you're making it? All right, now we're going to talk about light because light is important. Do not do this. I got this out in the sunlight. We don't want to do this. I've had this covered up since I got here. Do you guys see this behind us here? We're sitting at a park because it's such a beautiful day. And for where I live, there's not many more of these left. That's why I'm shooting this video outside. But let's discuss oxygen in the primary stage. You guys have all heard me say that your wine, keep the oxygen out as much as possible. And that is true, except in the primary fermentation stage. Your wine needs oxygen in this stage, as you can see in this part of the video. I stir this wine every single day in the primary fermentation, and you'll see how that foam activates. That's important for winemaking. You've got to feed your yeast oxygen that it needs to accelerate. Make sure, again, in the primary fermentation, you'll see I'm stirring this every single day for 7 to 10 days. And that's not only is it going to help your fruit from not getting moldy, but it's introducing oxygen. You need to do that every single day and maybe even twice a day. Now, I've read a few things that after 5 days, you don't have to do that. That can be a little bit of a detriment. So if you just want to go the 5 days, try that as well. I tend to do it the whole time. So now that we got the primary fermentation done, and that's complete, we got to get it over to the secondary. You'll see me when I'm making my wine, a lot of times I'm putting that lid on top of that bucket to keep out as much as I can at that point. And when you're racking your wine different times, you want to make sure that you're doing it as fast as you can and keep it as covered as much as you can. It can be difficult to do, but with experience, you'll get there where you can just keep that bucket, put your siphon in, put the bucket lid back on there, siphon it down, and get your airlock on as soon as it's done. That's critical. Secondary fermentation is where you want to eliminate that oxygen. Keep the airlock on. Keep very minimal headspace in that carboy as far as you can get it up, but you don't want to get it too far because you don't want that wine cooking up into your airlock. So that's crucial as well. But this is where oxygen needs to be eliminated on your secondary and your multiple rackings after that. So what happens if you get too much oxygen in your wine or in your secondary? What could happen? Number one, it's going to become oxidized and it could turn into like a vinegar taste almost. So again, that's why you're keeping it covered. You know, you're keeping out bacteria as well. I've seen people, all they do in the primary, they don't even put a lid on it. They will just cover it with a towel or something to keep debris from getting into it. That's how much some winemakers think you need that oxygen in the primary stage. Could just put a towel over. I'm not to that point. I like to keep the lid because I like to see that airlock bubble. And that also tells me that fermentation is working. So if you're just putting a towel or something over it, in my opinion, you got to just eyeball it by foam. Foam is a good thing in the primary fermentation. You want to see that. That's your yeast converting everything to carbon dioxide, and that airlock, it'll take it right out. So foam is great in winemaking in the primary stage. So what does oxygen do to wine when you're opening the bottle of wine? Well, number one, it lets those aromas get released when you're adding that oxygen. So you can tell actually what you're smelling in your wine. And the introduction of that oxygen is going to make that soft mouth feel when you're drinking your wine. It won't be that harshness. Do not store your wine in any kind of a light. You want to keep it in a dark room. I keep mine in a basement closet that the light is off, the temperature is cool. That's what you want. So that's what you want to do with light. Now, if you don't have that type of situation, make sure you get some darker bottles like this. This is like an amber color. I forget what, this is a strawberry pomegranate wine, you can't see, but that will help with light a little bit. I just like to use clear bottles because I want to see in the process how my wine turns out. So that's why I will use clear bottles, and I will just keep them covered and out of the light. So make sure you're doing that. Keep your wine in a dark place. That's enough about light. All right, now look at this. This is called the Vinabon aerator. When you open a bottle of wine, oxygen becomes important again. Remember, your wine could have been sitting in that bottle for 2 years. So now to bring out some of that flavor, you want to introduce oxygen. And if you want to get one of these, make sure I'll have a link on it down below so you can order it on Amazon. And I don't know if you can see it down below here. It says breathe life into your wine. That's what an aerator's for. That's when you would use this. Again, mainly for red wines, but I know people that are using for all their wines. This is one that just will kind of go on top of your bottle. You can see it here. Let me get it out and show you. So this will just go on top of your bottle. And the way the design is, as you pour it, it will let oxygen in there by letting air in and flowing. So I'm going to test this, and I'm going to tell you, I really don't use these very often, but I have an old wine. Can you guys see this strawberry wine? This is the one we're going to try it on tonight. It is crystal clear. It is over 2 years old. Everything before that's gone. So we're going to try it with this, but it's a beautiful color. It's one of my favorites of strawberry wine. You got to try this one. Because again, it's magnificent. Let's get the aerator on this and we'll see what my wife thinks. See if we can tell a difference for adding air into this strawberry wine. And we're going to do a little bit without this, and then we're going to use the aerator to see if we can actually tell a difference. So at the end, when you're opening your bottle of wine, oxygen becomes your friend again in certain cases. Red wines, the way I understand, you should do more of this. Your white wines, this might not be as necessary, but I know people that do it for both types, red and white wines. We'll get the wife and we'll do a taste test right out of the bottle and then some aerated. So let's get into that next. All right, so I just got back from the park and here we're gonna test this. Remember I said this aerator? We're going to test this thing out. So like I said, we don't use this very often. So we're going to try it out. Let's get this bottle of wine opened up.
Hope this goes good for you. This thing is pretty cool.
I love this thing.
It's very cool. Hey.
All right, so we got the bottle of wine open. We're going to try this regular. We got some cheese here. And then we're going to cleanse our palate and put this on and see if we can actually taste the difference. So you want to pour it?
Sure. I got a little bit of the cork is in there. Is that okay?
That's all right.
Yeah, it happens.
That's good. Here we go. This is the strawberry we made it like 2 years ago. If
I
that
can smell
aerator
it.
can work on this, man, I tell you, that is still one of my favorite wines, that strawberry. Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's try this. Remember, it says to put this on counterclockwise.
Put it on and turn it counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
Okay.
And then it says, as you pour it, make sure kind of tilt it. And you can see the bubbles here. That's, I guess, what you're supposed to see. So let's pour that one. Keep going.
Okay. It's really puts the bubbles in the air.
Yeah, so you want to try it? Or,
I can smell.
We didn't
I
taste
seem
our
to-
cheese. Let's taste our cheese.
I can smell it more. Can you smell it more?
That's what it says. It says the bouquet.
I can smell it more when you poured it with that.
Yeah.
I could smell it more while I was pouring it. But I know one thing, when you poured it, it was definitely more fragrant.
Well, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give you a better bouquet. So, but that, again, that's what oxygen is for. When you open your wine, primary, and get it out in the secondary. It's pretty cool, actually.
I don't know why I'm scared
You
it's
can
gonna...
really hear it now. I wonder if you're supposed to tilt
Well,
it.
it was getting a little bit more empty.
Yeah, look at the bubbles in that one. I don't
It does taste
that.
different.
Try it out. I got a link to this if you want to try it in the description.
Yeah.
But I think it's a win. I might start using that thing. I'm definitely gonna try it on different wines and see. Cheers until next time. I hope you liked the video.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.
Yes, almost forgot that. Cheers.
I got the cork. I liked it though.
Wine's supposed to be smooth.
Yeah, I guess. It definitely tastes different when you have them back to back. But I think I like that one better though.
All right, take two. We took this off and tried it again. And one thing I noticed is, like, at the very end, I describe it as the harshness, more maybe acidic. You'd look at it like that, but there is definitely a difference. My wife likes it without aeration, but I like it better with aeration because I think it's a lot smoother.
But there is a definite difference.
Yeah, it is. Surprising. I mean, how that works, I don't know. If you designed it, put something in the comment. So I hope I was able to clear a few things up on oxygen, when you need it, when you don't. Make sure in the primary you're giving your wine oxygen. Then eliminate it in the secondary. But then revitalize it when you open your bottle of wine. That's going to get your aromas back in there and the flavors and give you that less harshness that you might feel on the inside of your cheeks or the tip of your tongue. So until next time, I got a great video planned next. I can't wait to show you that one. A lot of you have been asking for this one. Well, it's coming. Give me a week or so after this one. And then also anything you see on this channel, I got links in the description for it. If you need to buy any of it, make sure you're checking out the links. Have a great day.